Hello?
Hi, I'm Jason.
I'm Timo.
And we're talking about film characters and TV characters who just die like punks.
Yeah,
We're not happy with the way they die.
So the one among my geek friends that really stands out and seems to come up first every time we talk about it is Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Because that guy was so built up, not even built up, but just for some reason he just oozed cool in Empire Strikes Back. You know, Vader, the badass of the galaxy, had to specifically say,
"No disintegration."
And what do? They get to Return of the Jedi. They have a blind Han Solo smack him on the back of the freaking jetpack, which malfunctions and fires him into the Sarlacc for a burp joke. And that's how this badass bounty hunter dies.
Although, if you've read the additional materials for Star Wars, he doesn't actually die. He's the only character ever to survive the Sarlacc, and he blasts his way out of it. But still, he died like a punk, for all intents and purposes. A lot of people argue that Jango Fett died like a punk too. Once again,
yeah, absolutely.
Malfunctioning jetpack. Can't rely on the jetpack.
Absolutely. Although at least he died with a badass motherfucker like Mace Windu beheading him with a purple lightsaber. I mean, at least there was something. But yeah, the malfunctioning jetpack was a little dumb.
Yeah.
Speaking of Samuel L. Jackson, another character who died like a punk, in my opinion, was his cohort in Pulp Fiction, Vincent Vega. Doesn't he just get shot on the toilet?
Yeah, by Bruce Willis. Because he's stupid and he leaves his gun out in the kitchen, and then Bruce Willis sees it and he like picks it up and is like, "Well, sorry, man, you kind of deserved that."
Yeah, it's true. I don't know. I still think it's like he's such a great character and such a badass, and you know.
Who else? Bane, right?
What are your thoughts on that?
I was like, wait, is he dead? Because he's like been a badass through this whole movie, and then somebody just comes up and shoots him. Like, why didn't they do that like at the beginning of the movie?
Yeah, exactly. So I think my problem with Bane, I'm not sure if this is like latent like sexism, but they were like, "I can't believe that Bane was shot by a chick. God." And I'm like, I don't even have a problem with him being shot by Catwoman on the bike. Like, I'm fine with that because like Batman has the whole thing where he doesn't kill people, and right. Bane is such a, I mean, he's such a villainous villain that you want him to die.
Right.
And so I don't have a problem with him getting shot. My problem, the reason why I thought he died like a punk, is that the film itself and Batman as a character, they don't stop and like mark his death as like, this was a worthy opponent and he has now passed. Like, the camera didn't even linger on him for a second. It was like they just moved on, boom. And I'm like, you gotta stop for a second, even just as a film, so that the audience can go, wow, dude, he's dead.
So he's
dead. Because I literally, by towards the end of the movie, I kept expecting, villains like Bane, especially in like the comic book, fantasy, sci-fi world, they keep coming back. Remember the T-1000 in Terminator 2? Right. I was like, dear God, doesn't this thing ever die? Seriously? So I kept, for the whole rest of the film, I kept expecting Bane to come back.
Yeah.
And then it got to the end and I was like, wait, hold on a second. They didn't wrap up Bane at all. And my friend was like, no, he's dead. He got shot by the gun. And I'm like, that's it? He got shot by the gun? So I think it's a punk death.
You know who else is a punk death?
Who?
In comic book movies?
Who?
Cyclops from X-Men 3. You don't get that he dies at first. Like, did he die? It's like Jean Grey comes back as the Phoenix and they have a little makeout session and then something happens. You don't really know what.
And he's just gone.
And he's just gone. Captain Kirk, Star Trek Generation.
Oh my God. How could I forget that one? That is the worst punk death. That could be worse than Boba Fett. Captain Kirk, like some would call the greatest Star Trek captain ever, dies by falling off of a ladder, basically. Yeah. And the worst part about that is, this is what they came up with as wait, we screwed up the death, we want to redo it and make it better. That's the death that I would almost rather have had him shot in the back.
I would.
Because at least it was Malcolm McDowell, holy crap.
Yeah, and I like that villain in that movie. And Malcolm McDowell's just a great actor.
Time is stalking you, and in the end, it will come in and make the kill.
Time is the fire in which we burn.
God, that's such a...
But then, Captain Kirk's battled all these aliens with his, characteristics, two-handed punches. And then what kills him? A rusty bridge.
A rusty bridge, yep. Seriously.
What the
That's another thing. I remember a lot of my Trekkie friends were like, this movie's stupid because Kirk always said he would die alone, and he didn't die alone.
Technically, when he was on the Enterprise B and the ribbon came and snatched him, he was alone.
But he wasn't dead.
So
who else died like a punk? That was a good call. I forgot about Kirk. All my Trekkie friends are seriously going to firebomb me now for forgetting that one.
I think in Star Trek Nemesis, Data died like a punk.
Really? I don't know if he did. I sort of felt like that was a dignified death, like Spock.
My problem with it is that they tried to make it too like Spock because they had B4 and they downloaded Data's memory into B4, so you're like, he's just going to come back as B4. and have all his memories.
I see what you're saying.
Like they're gonna do another Spock thing, and
B4's got his Data, and he's just going to be Data.
Yeah.
That's what makes it a punk's death.
Yeah.
I can roll with that. I think that's probably a legitimate criticism.
yeah, because like when Spock died, that was like a man. That was
And that's one
an
of the
emotional.
best. You talk about whatever the opposite of a punk's death is. That's what that Spock death scene is. Just incredible.
Same with Khan too, because he's like still like spitting
I have
after Kirk
been.
died.
And always will be your friend. God, it's so great. Leonard Nimoy, if you're out there, seriously, brilliant. Who else? Punk death, punk death, punk death. I'm trying
Mr.
to think.
Echo on Lost.
No, okay. If we want to talk about Lost, I'm gonna speak up for that because yes, Mr. Echo's death was a serious punk death because they built it up, and you're like, okay, so he got killed by the smoke monster. Like, what was the smoke monster doing? Was it judging him? Was it penance? Like, did it know his evil? Like, what? Like, there was all this amazing discussion, and then. And don't get me wrong, I love the way the series ends, but the series ends and you find out that the smoke monster just basically randomly killed him for no freaking reason. And I'm like, well, then what the... He was one of my favorite characters. It's like, dumb. But speaking of punk deaths on Lost, to me, the worst punk death on Lost is Rousseau. She's this amazing character. She kidnaps Saeed and has that whole subplot with her daughter. And I mean, she's just this amazing character all through like 5 seasons.
And she's like master of the island too.
She's like master of the island, and then she has these maps and all this amazing stuff. And then Kimi comes along, and there's like a firefight, and she just gets shot along with her daughter's boyfriend.
You don't see anyone doing it.
Yeah,
Like,
you don't see anybody do it. She just gets popped.
Yeah.
Terrible. Damon Lindelof, got my eye on you. So that's the list of people that we think died like punks. If you have any characters that you think died like punks that we forgot, let us know in the comments below or make a video response because we have some ideas. We got a couple more people that we want to talk about. Maybe we'll do another one of these if we're so inclined. So subscribe, like, check out our Twitter handles at the end of the video, and we'll be around.